All right, so first one's 7th. I guess I can just erase everything here. All right, what is 1/7 as a decimal?
So
and, yeah,
1/7 is 0.142857. Repeat. So it's 14257, 14257.
Okay. And should this count as a repetitive number? So does it have arbitrarily long sequences that appear at least twice? I actually need to clarify one thing too. It doesn't mean every number you find necessarily. There might not be a sequence of 500, but there's a sequence of longer than 500 that repeats. And no matter what number you pick, it's going to be a sequence of longer than that repeats. So I think that'll mean this. What I said before is true too. But
I think 1/7 can count.
Yes.
All right. Why don't you explain why?
So
Suppose I'm looking, let's say, for a sequence of length of 1,000.
So length of 1,000, you can start here, and you can take your first 1,000, and then you can go until you have some multiple of 7. If you've gone to multiple of 6 numbers, and then you're back to starting at 1. So if you have a sequence that starts here, 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, and then it ends like maybe, I don't know, say it ends on 8. Your immediate next sequence, like 5, 7. 1, 4, 2, 8 is not going to repeat like this one repeats, but a few sequences later, you'll get to somewhere that will end right before 1. Okay. So then you'll have another sequence like your first sequence. So this will count.
All right. How would you explain it? Why 1/7 is a repetitive number? What would you say?
So if whatever number you pick, that makes a sequence, but it doesn't necessarily. It starts on 1, it doesn't necessarily end on 7, but the sequences don't have to be like right next to each other. In the decimal expansion, there can be some gap. So, like what he said, when your sequence stops, you just exclude the numbers after that digits after that until 7, and then you start your second sequence again, and then that will go until it stops, and then you will have the 2 sequences, which means it repeats.
Okay, very good. Before we talk about pi, we'll do that in the next video. Do you have any new thoughts on repetitive numbers now?
Well, I think so. Repetitive numbers can either be rational or irrational. There's no real restriction. It seems if pi works.
Okay, but we'll see about pi in a minute. Why do you say rational numbers are repetitive?
Well, because rational numbers, decimal expansions either repeat like this, or they end in infinite zeros, and then that would work by default.
Okay.
So, and then if they repeat, we see that all rational numbers, I guess any rational number, because if it's an integer, it just has a decimal expansion of all zeros, but all rational numbers seem to be repetitive.
Okay, very good. Let's go to the next video.